due diligence 10 tip to save time. My name is Joanna. I am the team lead customer success, and I'm here with my colleague Andrew, who is the business development manager at Drooms. We are excited to share 10 insights that can help streamline your due diligence process.
Well, first of all, thank you very much to all our guests for joining us today. Let me just give you a very brief background on Drooms. We are headquartered in Frankfurt in Germany, and we also have a magnitude of offices across Europe from Madrid, Paris, London, Sofia, Amsterdam, and Milan. Now, Drooms is at the heart of real estate and M&A deal making across Europe. We serve a diverse range of clients from large multinationals all the way down to local real estate developers.
So our goal is simple: to make your due diligence process as smooth and as fast as possible without compromising any security. So with this in mind, let's dive into our first tip on how to save time during due diligence.
Due diligence includes so many confidential and sensitive documents. So it goes without saying that security should be the highest priority. Drooms is often praised to be the most secure data room provider. Now, we're based in Europe and documents are encrypted for every data transmission and are housed in ISO certified data centers, never leaving the EU. Compliance with regulatory requirements like GDPR is crucial.
Absolutely, Andrew. GDPR is crucial. Security is the foundation of any successful due diligence process. So let me give you an example of security features that we offer at Drooms. So that would be SSO, two-factor authentication, system stability, which is 99.9% of the time per year. System stability. And imagine that you're handling a multi-million-dollar M&A deal and the data breaches occurs. So it could be catastrophic and lead to deal failure at the very least. So ensuring your data room provider meets these standards can save time and prevent any costly security breaches. So for our second tip, is to use advanced permissions for tailored access to our control. The different stakeholder groups need secure access to various sets of documents, and it's essential to define multiple access rights across and between different group downs to the individual document level. So this is the user section here, and we've got all these different groups that have been set up. So if I just double click on that, we can see the different permissions that is available, the data room access that's been toggled on, and we can show watermark. We can also have this group to have save with watermark. So there's various features for permissions as well. So if we go onto here, I've already got these permissions set. So, but if I just click set permissions, then there's also these different levels, and you can do it on a granular scale of each document as well. So you can give them view, print, download access, and also the editing rights. And we've got 3 different features of editing. So you can give them full editing rights, and also the create only, or even the create and deny, but with the administrator's approval. So this is our permissions. And then you can just click save. And then you go on to the user section, and then there's where you can see all these the visibility and how much they can print, how much they can download, and how much they can edit. So in terms of the permissions, it's very advanced in the sense where you can do very granular stuff.
This actually does remind me of a recent transaction I assisted a client with where they had 80 to 100 different stakeholders involved. The fact that it's really easy to set up on your own and ensure that people accessing the data room can only see what they're supposed to be seeing. It helps to prevent any mix-ups, unauthorized access, and gives you full control over what you're supposed to be doing. Our third tip, it's our automated workflows with our AI tool. And the whole point of the AI tool is to leverage this and speed up deal closure. AI can streamline document management by automating tasks such as indexing, naming documents, redacting sensitive information, and finding specific content. All of these in the past have been quite time-consuming. If we can help to speed those up or even eradicate them, it's going to allow you to get your deal done quicker.
And like using AI effectively can significantly save time and effort. For instance, one of our clients was drowning in paperwork until they adopted our AI tool. And what used to sort of take days now takes hours. So like can then free up their sort of team to focus on strategic decision making. So I'm going to show you actually the redaction tool that we have. So for example, we have this particular document. And if I just double click on this is the document that is already been redacted, as you can see here. But if I just show you something that is not redacted, so here, and you want to redact this, so we can also click on here, click on the redaction tool, click start redaction, and then there are different ways you can redact. So you can type in a specific term or word that you want. So maybe you want to put, I'm just putting an example, so real estate. So that comes up as such. So it will have the sort of like the red lining across it. And then once you tick it, and it's already highlighted in red, it means that that will be redacted, and I can have a little quick preview. So if I do that, you can see that's a little quick preview of that. So there's also this funder button there as well. So it's actually sort of where you can put in like, redact the date of birth, maybe like the passport numbers, personal information, or even banks and stuff like that. So these are already pre-filtered sort of search categories that you can do, and then click submit. So that's also another redaction section there. And also there's also this button where you can freehand sort of areas you can redact as well. And then you can just click preview, and then you just click finish redaction. And then just want to save it maybe in the same folder, and then click save. So there it will have sort of another sort of color. So it would be with a pen with a blue icon next to it. And we actually just launched a batch redaction as well, only just yesterday. So it's something that you can actually batch redact quite a lot of pages in terms of that. So if I click right click, there's the batch redaction. The next tip is the fourth one. So in real-time document translation is a game changer, especially with cross-border projects. This feature reduces costs, reduces this, and it speeds up the process definitely. And it does maintain sort of the data security by eliminating the need to outsource translation. So we actually do have the translation tool in our Dreams platform. So I can easily show you. So let me just double click onto a document here, for example. So I'm just going to use this particular one. And we do have the translation tool, which is here. So it's at the bottom, the translation tool. So here you can actually translate it into sort of all this sort of German or French, Dutch, we've got Spanish, Portuguese and Polish, but we do also have Arabic in the background, just to let you know, and that can be installed into the sort of Dreams data rooms. So for example, maybe I want to translate in Spanish, and here you go. It's within 2 seconds. You can see how easily it is in terms of that, the real-time translation.
I think it's worth pointing out as well, you may have a document there in English, you want to put it into German, but if you want it to go from German back into English, that can also be facilitated. And the most important thing when it comes to this is it's all about speeding up the transaction itself. We sometimes host a platform where you've got 5 different nationalities involved, and everyone being able to take it into their own language, a native language that is, it makes communication and collaboration more seamless and effective. 5th tip of the day, which is the advanced reporting tools. Detailed and visual reporting solutions can provide real insight and data on your potential bidding, buying interest, and documents every action as well, preventing post-transaction litigation, for example.
Yeah. So good reporting tools can be rich and, source of information. So for example, I think one client used our reporting tools to identify which documents were generating the most interest. So you can already see here, you can also see the folder heat map of, of what are the top access folders and in terms of that, which is quite good to see. And, helps generate the most interest, obviously, and, helps tailor the approach for this. So, and you've got sort of the group activity as well, user activity here. So these are just tables, but if you scroll all the way down, this is where you can actually see the different sort of reporting tools here. So obviously got user activity history, index history, and so on. So I'm not going to explain each and every one of them, but they're quite self-explanatory. So here, if I go into sort of maybe the user activity history, so if I click on that, so all of them are actually, in the sort of the same format where you do have the filter section here, and you can sort of filter the date range, maybe the groups or the users, and as such, or maybe the specific index point as well. And then obviously you can just click apply, but I'm going to do maybe the last month or so. I can just click on that and it's highlighted in blue, and I click apply. And you can see, this, myself, obviously, can see that, what's been viewed and stuff like that. And then here is where you can actually export the report here. So if you just click on export, and this will actually just export it as such. And then it will go into sort of the My Downloads area. So we do have a sort of an easily configured Q&A within your data room, and then integrated like sort of a Q&A management feature to sort of ensure that questions and answers like don't get lost, and can be like sort of included in the post sort of transaction sort of like reporting. So here, if I just quickly show you the sort of the Q&A, so we've got the question side, and then you've also got the selection, which is sort of the gatekeeper of the question side. You've also got the distribution, so we can have basically many levels of distribution as such, but we keep it simple. You can have the answer side, and then you've got the approval. We've got 6 levels of approval stages, but you can have many approval stages as you like. And then you've got the visitor, so that could be like the legal team overseeing the whole sort of Q&A flow. So that's sort of the Q&A flow that you can configure, and also we do have like sort of the categories as such, sort of to make it more streamlined. So maybe you want to sort of, if a question comes up and it's related to finance or something like that, give it a little maybe green tag as such, or maybe if it's like property related question, give it a little sort of yellow tag. So you can actually sort of streamline that Q&A flow better to actually categorize those specific questions as you like, and you can tailor that as and when you want to. So let me just go back, and then I'll just click save and continue. I'm just going to like quickly just sort of show you this. So you just kind of like drag and drop all the different people that you want into the questions, and ordered maybe the specific person into the distribution like that. So this is a very, very easy sort of like, you can see everything's just the drag and drop. And then all you just need to do is just connect it up like such, as such. And you can see the Q&A process. You can see all the different people like that if you want. And then if I want to sort of go to the sort of setting number 3, I'm going to skip number 2 because that's actually optional. You can just assign the index points to answer teams, but here you can do the different settings. You can give them a specific access date when you want to block them as well. When you want to give them like a question limit, maybe 100, like sort of say per week, you can give that, and you can give them the CT members as well. And you can also basically sort of copy this specific setting to maybe say bidder 2. So if I click on bidder 2, paste, very, very quick and simple. You can see how efficient that is. And you can do that for each one. But I'm just going to click done. And then I'm just going to click activate. So if once that's activated, if I go to the question and answer, so this is where you get all this sort of your task here, and all the questions are come here, and then you can actually just export the Q&A if you'd like as well. So you can export it in a PDF and the fancy PDF, or in an Excel format if you'd like, and then you just click create export like that, and it'll go into my downloads area where you can just quickly download the sort of Q&A.
Well, it certainly is showing more efficiency in this process. From my experience, some people are quite reluctant to use the Q&A technology, and having seen, across the board, the different platforms, this one certainly is the most user intuitive. I actually do remember a complex deal where the Q&A process features streamlined communication amongst the different departments. and that all the different departments could come together and work on the same project. The most important thing is that the critical questions were answered promptly and in a secure fashion. Tailored services that meet your needs. Now, tailored services from your data room provider are essential, and it's important that you have a dedicated team that supports you throughout all the deal phases, that can make the process seamless and efficient and support you in the areas that you need it most.
Yes, and delegating time-consuming tasks to experts allows your team to focus on like the critical aspects of the deal. For instance, we have a client who offloaded their document management to us, allowing their team to fully focus on like the negotiation side of things.
So, for example, you can break down the services by type. So, we have our online service team and my colleague Joanna assisting you with the data room setup, Q&A management support, creating indexes, things of that nature. Then you've got the offline services, which is digitization of documents, handling of analog data. There are still people out there that use pen and paper as opposed to things like DocuSign and such. And it does exist in cupboards that are gathering dust. And the best thing to do is utilize the offline services. And then there's also the process-based stuff as well. So organization of your project participants, helping to implement NDA processes and things of that nature.
Customizable notifications that help you stay up to date with the latest document updates. Users can decide which notifications they want to receive, like ensuring that they are always informed. And we have this sort of notification setting here. So if I go into my profile and I go into the notifications here, I can tailor that, or each user can tailor that as well to their own. So if I want to updates and changes, these notifications, I can set up immediately, or any Q&A notifications, I can set that up immediately as well. And for example, if I want to sort of manage my project mode notifications, maybe I've got several sort of data rooms within the rooms. And for example, I want notification from this and notification from this sort of data room or as such. So you can actually sort of tailor this, or in terms of customizing these sort of features.
It definitely helps you manage the influx of the new information efficiently. I know in the past our clients have set up the notifications, especially for critical document updates, significantly reducing the amount of time that's spent manually going through and checking for changes. Why spend your time doing that when the platform can do it for you? Tip number 9. Accessing documents from any location using a mobile optimized platform is crucial for stakeholders who travel frequently. It shows that you can review your documents, set and manage permissions, communicate with team members, etc. whilst you're on the move. None of this send a note on your phone for when you get back to the office on your way back from a meeting. You can do it there and then.
Mm-hmm. And this flexibility can significantly enhance your productivity. I know a client who was able to finalize a deal while on a business trip, thanks to our mobile platform. We also introduced an updated requested by our sort of users, working on multiple tabs on your browser and multiple devices simultaneously without being logged out. So our final tip is to use online archive for post-deal security. This ensures your data that is securely stored and easily accessible, reducing the risks associated with physical storages, devices such as USB sticks, and enhancing the sustainability side of stuff as well.
So an online archive will also mitigate your post-transaction liability. There's been multiple cases where having that secure archive has managed to prevent a major legal dispute because they had all the data and reports available quickly. Joanna just touched on it there as well. Before USB sticks, it was CD, DVDs, and before that, floppy disks. All of these have, end up in a landfill or they're getting lost, but ultimately they're going to end up, having a harmful impact on the environment. If we're going to, make a more ESG conscious shift, using the online archive is definitely a step in the right direction.
So to conclude the session, enhancing your due diligence process with these tips can significantly improve efficiency, even like the security and overall performance. And we hope you found these insights valuable. If you'd like sort of more information and insights, just please check out our resources page on the Dreams website. If you find, you can find like our latest white papers and industry blogs and stuff like that. And like, you can stay up to date with us. You can, follow us on LinkedIn as well.
Both myself and Joanna are available on LinkedIn as well as Dreams themselves. If anybody does have any questions, please, feel free to reach out to one of us. Thank you. And thank you, Joanna.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. And hope you all have a lovely day ahead. And thank you for joining our sort of webinar to give you all the tips that you need.